What's up, guys? Just a little update on the car. We got quite a few of the parts have shown up. The dry sump pan showed up, the pump itself showed up, and we went ahead and test fitted it, and it fit pretty well, but we needed to probably move a couple of the configurations. Once we got it in there, we put the lines kind of like with the fittings on to make sure it cleared everything. Tommy's still been working on the differential, which we got in there, and now that he's got in there, which we talked about earlier, he needs to now place the fuel cell in a location that he's comfortable with. And we've got the mock engine in, we've got the transmission, the mock transmission in, and Tommy's got the drive shaft in. And we mentioned that we were able to use Kevin's drive shaft as a backup drive shaft, and he's fixed the location where he's got the exoskeleton of the fuel cell, and it fits pretty well, and it looks pretty awesome. But hopefully it's going to work in the location that it's at, and we're going to go check it out right now and see the progress we got. There's still tons and tons of seam steel that we're slowly picking away at while working on inside the chassis. Ramon was helping, Luke's been helping, and it's been a process, but we're moving along pretty well. We got a lot of the fabrication components coming up, and that's where as far as engine fabrication components like intercooler, turbo placement, manifolds, all that's going to be coming up next with the mock block in there, and we're moving pretty fast. I don't want to say too fast because I don't want to get ahead of myself, but according to the schedule I've made, we're not too far off. So I normally leave windows in there for us to fall behind a little bit. Tommy did have to take some time off this week and last week to get a new transmission tunnel in Kevin's chassis, which we'll check out also. And he was messing around with the bead roll. It came out pretty well and gives him ideas of what we can do on the 350Z also. So let's go check it out.
You don't look high. Let's check out those eyeballs. Just kidding.
Good, I got one still.
Nah, I'm alcohol free.
You're fired.
What's going on here, Tommy?
I'm tacking this little mount section to my fuel cell structure.
What's that mount specific for something, or is it just for chassis placement?
Chassis placement.
Okay.
Cheers, mates.
I'll do that.
Not brought to you by PBR. Unless PBR, you want to bring it to us. Alright, so while Tommy's welding on that, let's just check what we've got going on in here. You can see where we've got the location of the winner's quick change in here. He's still got a few more things he's got to do, but we actually have rear suspension on here now. We've got all the ISR arms in here, and we got the drop knuckle with the dual caliper setup. It's a Part Shop Max piece. ISR coilovers are in, and this is going to help me get the axle length. Now that we've got the dry shaft length, which we get from Drive Shaft Shop, we just give them the measurements between here and here, and that's going to help us confirm if we are going to be able to use the drive shaft, but then also getting this suspension on in the rear is going to then get it onto the alignment rack right here and get it to the right height, get the toe correct, and then go ahead and get the axle measurements, which is going to be from this flange to inside here, and go ahead and get the axles on order to make sure we've got that. Can't go far without those. That fun seam seal stuff you guys are probably really bored of right now, but I just wanted to really show you guys how much goes into it. So once you've got all the wire wheel down, which we talked about, and you've taken off most of the stuff with the scraping with the fire, you still have to get in here with a pick and pretty much scrape out every little piece inside here, because when you weld it, it's going to pull it all the way through, and it's going to be gross, and it won't weld nice, and it won't look good. Tommy's already cleaned up most of this area, and he got those already done, but we're slowly making progression. So while he's up welding, and you've got the big space and where he's got the opening for that fuel cell, show you what it looks like once he actually gets that in also. We talked about the pan being in, which it is, and then I've got the accessories on, and I made a little mock mount which I struggled to weld the other day. And that's all in there, so front's still on. It looks like somebody stole the wheel. What happened to the wheels?
They look at it and then
Did Brandon take the wheels?
do it right there, no look.
Alright, so Brandon, which was pretty lucky, has a very similar car, 5.3 V8, and it's a 350Z, and he is putting it together. It's going to be a lot less power than this, and it's not fully the pro specs, but he's going to have pretty much a similar car that he's going to be using for practicing. And so I think he needed to borrow the wheels actually for the front. I mean, this isn't going anywhere obviously, so he borrowed some of the wheels to get the car rolling, and he's hoping to drive it by the end of this week. So that's going to be cool if he gets that going and gets very familiar with the same setup of the car. Tommy looks like it's a tight fit.
CHs?
That's a technical term. CH is a very, very used term around here. Ooh, that was close to my toe. You need this. There you go, sir. Happy with it?
Yep.
So that little extension piece.
Right up here.
Okay, cool.
I'll do the same thing on the top once I figure out the length.
So that's pretty much where it's going to sit. I'll show you from the same angle we looked at earlier. It's in there. And now, are you done welding? Or are you going to weld this fully and then weld it in? Like all. I noticed you've just got
Right. So
tack welds.
this piece is below the floor. My mounts for the top are going to be above the floor, so I'll have to do those in the car.
Okay.
So I can't. I might could snake it in there, like with the top.
So what's your thought process on that? Like why? Oh, so you can go in from the bottom. Is that what you're saying? Like you can't put the tabs on the top?
I may be actually able to tuck the top in and then snake it in as well. Yeah.
But
I might still be able to.
okay. But either way, no matter what you do.
It's easier to weld out
Okay.
of the car.
Okay.
The more stuff I can get tacked onto it and weld before I put it in the car, the easier the welds are going to be, and the nicer they're going to be.
Okay. Okay, but when this is in, the fuel cell will still be able to come in and
Oh
out.
yeah, you'll be able to remove the fuel cell, but the structure has to be welded to the car.
Okay. It can't be a bolt-in structure. Okay.
I want it to, I can't do it.
Okay. But being where it is, there's pretty much
It's right where the factory fuel tank was, essentially.
right. So it's not gonna get crushed. But even when you gotta, by the time that you hit and bend anything with this on this car, look how far away it is.
Yeah, you're so far
If
away
you
from the chassis,
if you damage that, then that chassis is bye-bye probably.
it's running that fuel cell until we do another build on the car.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
If anything, you pull the top off of it, get your fuel pumps in it.
yeah.
There's no real reason to take it out.
Okay. Yeah. Just it'd still be accessible for servicing over the years and everything. So for inspection of the bladder and stuff like that. So everything will be good. So good. That looks good. Anything else you're working on today?
No. I've been cutting the factory strut brace out of the backside of this thing.
You got a second to talk about Kevin's tunnel? I know you've been working on that. I told everybody we were.
Look at that.
Yeah, let's go look at this tunnel.
Some tomorrow.
We have a mock.
Mock block, his actual transmission.
That's his actual transmission in there, and look at the room in there.
See, there's room to get to the bolts with your hands. Like, reach up in there and get to anything.
That looks like a nice spot to take a nap. All right, so Kevin really wanted a scatter blanket in here, so
There's plenty of room for that.
that's awesome, man. And then I wish I could show you a little bit more of this detail, but Tommy's got that quilted design on there. Look at that.
So good from the top side.
Yeah, we'll get a chance to look at it. Come back once you've got it all completely welded in. Right, notice you've just got it.
I've still got to do all my welding on the bottom. I've done a few little stitches and stuff. The top is almost fully welded.
Oh, okay. It's just You're gonna be spending some time tomorrow finishing that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still gotta do, tie my transmission cross member, the brace that was originally tied into the tunnel. I've got to essentially remake that now.
Okay, so we can
The new tunnel.
check in on you doing that tomorrow at some point. Awesome. And then once you're done with that, just straight back on to
I'll be back and forth. I've still got more
hi,
stuff to do on this one.
Luke's been helping out. Danny, high five. Come on. Yeah. And remote. All right, well, is it dinner time yet? Anybody, what are you guys doing for dinner?
That's, what are y'all doing for dinner?
Liquid sandwiches.
Oh, sandwich.
Vitamin B. Vitamin B.
All right. All right, well, back to the office.